empty cup. Just crack a smile and fill it up. Fill it up.
Hello. It's me. Drinking a beer.
Is it you I'm looking for?
It is, actually. Yeah, there you are.
That was good, Brandon. Welcome to After the Final Pour, brought to you by the Malting Hour. It's 2022. This is going to be the first After the Final Pour of
Are we calling it?
2022.
We calling it?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because, fuck, we've got a lot for 2021 left. This is the most we've had recorded.
Good for us.
Yeah,
good for us.
I like this. And we still have more to... The fact that we're recording something for 2022 and still have something left to record for 2021 is impressive. Shut up, Clark. Welcome to After the Final Pour. I'm one of your hosts, Tony Goller, joined always with...
Brandon Winninger.
Clark Fettridge.
Yeah, thanks. Wow. Clark, this might be your only appearance in 2022, so make it count.
This is it. I have a lot to say for the whole year. I'm going to give you my Maltese for 2022 right now.
Please don't.
First one up is Bourbon County Chocolate Grenadine. After they contacted us from our Build Your Own Media Kit last year, they really liked my idea.
Interesting.
Here we are.
What was number 2?
Just Beezer, older me.
I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, I thought that was a safe answer. It's like, sure, of course, Beezer. Yeah.
I'm not mad at you.
I don't think it is. But all joking and fun aside, we do have an After the Final Pour. We just finished drinking some other good beers, and we're going to move on to hopefully another good beer as well. Brandon, you went ahead and picked this up, and we were all three of us were actively seeking this out. I even contacted Jeff's daughter because I thought that she would like it, and I'm pretty sure she did actually secure some of it for herself. Brandon, what are we drinking tonight?
So we are drinking Minted by Hop Butcher, which is a holiday Imperial Stout brewed with chocolate and Frango Mint Oil. And that's the key thing here, folks. Hop Butcher actually works, and again, for people that may not know, Frango Mint is no longer owned by Macy's.
Maybe explain what a Frango Mint is.
So Frango Mint is a delicious chocolate mint that had been sold for years. Let's go back to the previous history with Marshall Fields. And if you were a Marshall Fields fan, you went to the Marshall Fields store downtown on State Street. Their factory was actually on, was it the 13th floor? But it was somewhere like high up on the building. But it was up there, and you could actually go there and watch them make the mints that they did, and they sold during the holidays. Marshall Fields was bought out by Macy's years ago, and they held on to the brand for a while. Production, I think, at one point was moved to like New Jersey or something like that. And then after that, Macy's was like, yeah, we don't need this anymore. So they sold it to a local company that, if you've been to Chicago and you've been downtown and people have told you to enjoy it, is Garrett Popcorn.
Interesting tidbit. It was originally created by a Seattle company called Frederick and Nelson in 1980.
Oh.
I never knew that.
Okay. So then did like...
And then after, whatever you said
So
after
did
that,
Marshall Field buy it?
Yeah.
Or like start producing it? Okay.
Yeah.
And
In 1929, Marshall Field. So
I think not even pre them. I think after the Macy's buyout, like you could still go to the Macy's store and like they were making Frango Mints like up on that floor. That production space is still there. I haven't been there in a couple of years, pandemic and all that stuff. But anyway,
There's a pandemic going on?
yes. And so apparently, Hop Butcher was lucky enough to team up with Garrett's Popcorn and kind of finagle them to give them the exact mint oil that they use in the chocolates to make that Frango Mint. Mm-hmm. So I am super excited about this.
Now, Clark and I are huge Hop Butcher fans.
huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Brandon, have you had many Hop Butcher beers?
I've had a couple of Two Tree.
Two Tree. Clark and I have probably had like 30, 40 Tree.
If I had to guess, I don't know. They've brewed and released say 100 different cans of different beers. I'm guessing I've had 80 of those.
80?
Yeah.
Wow.
Roughly.
If you go...
Especially as the years have gone on, they've re-released everything, and I go, I definitely haven't had that, so I go and get it.
Dan at Hip Hops had one time showed me how I could look at
a brewery, yeah.
Specifically of like what I
yeah, can I speak to Untapped quickly about that?
Real quick.
I feel like that should be much easier to figure out. There's a way to do it, but it's always very difficult. Untapped, if you could figure that out and make it easier for all of us.
I'm trying to figure it out now. Like Dan knew how to do it right away. Thanks, Hip Hops. Statistics? Do I go through my statistics? No. Anyways, because I was gonna look and see how many, because you can figure out like how many beers you've had from that brewery in particular. I don't think I've had 80. Not in a lot.
Yeah, I might. Well, I don't know.
I would think like maybe 20 to 30.
You've had more than 20 Hot Butcher beers.
I don't think so.
All right, you guys talk. I'm gonna figure out how to
figure that out.
Okay, it's right here actually.
Where do I go?
Well, at least on a computer. So I've had 57. So not quite 80. I do apologize.
Can you find mine as well, or just yourself?
Boy,
where did you go?
Be...
Just settings or something?
No, I just went to the brewery Hot Butcher for the World.
No, so if I looked them up, maybe I could find it. But
it doesn't show it on the app, I don't think. So don't waste your time.
Welcome to How to Use Untapped.
It's actually after the final pour. With
Locations, find it. Friends, I can't find mine. Ugh, God bless America. Anyway.
Guess we'll wait.
Monaco. How many beers I've had? Unique.
Well, this beer is phenomenal.
Brandon.
Okay, I'm actually able to find it out. I have had more Hot Butcher beers than I thought. I've had. How many did you have?
57.
I've had 50.
I knew you were up there.
Holy shit. Well, make it 51, baby, because tonight we're drinking Hot Butcher
Minted.
All right, have you guys had a sip of this yet?
I have.
Or have you smelled it yet?
I have.
Yes.
Brandon, you tell me what you're thinking on the smell and then the taste.
The smell, when I first went in, I was like, it literally smells like a Frango Mint. Like, it's got all of that, the chocolate, the slight mint characteristic, and it plays really well together. And then I did take a first sip. So, I did take a first sip. Well, you ranted for a while. Sorry. I could go into that, or I could, just kind of wait and see. Okay. I like you guys to kind of go in and then like see what you guys think.
Clark, normally I'd throw it to you, but I'm going to jump the gun here and go straight to me. Off the cement. Off the cement.
Is this a Smint beer?
This is a
Are they doing a Smint beer?
No, they did it off the cement.
The aroma and smell, there is cement. No. I get a Imperial Stout. Like there is that. What's the? I don't know. I just know
a spicy roast.
A little bit of sharpness to it almost. Yeah. And then a nice bit of mintiness. A hint of mintiness and some chocolate in there then. So I went in for a sip. I'll do it again now. Sweet up front. Then some chocolate. Then stout. Then bitterness. And then some mint. That's what I'm getting from this beer, and I won't give my full critique just yet. Clark, what are you getting?
I'm with you. I like the way you explained that. It helped me understand what I was actually tasting, and I'm being completely honest. It's reminding me of some of Hot Butcher's other high ABV stouts, Imperial Stouts, if you will. I had the peanut butter, the bear. Gosh.
I think it's called Kill the Bear.
I don't think it's called
Stab.
It's called Fat Bear. If you
Stab
want
the Bear.
It's called Fat Bear. And
Murder.
It was a peanut butter Imperial Stout brewed with chocolate. Mm-hmm. And if you were to remove the mint from this, that's what Fat Bear would taste like with the peanut butter added in. So it's reminding me a lot of that, which makes sense because it's their Imperial Stout base, I'm guessing. Something similar.
That's kind of what I'm getting,
yeah.
Brandon, now that you've heard a little bit from us, what do you got?
So when I'm sipping it, I sip it and I'm kind of swirling it in my mouth, and I'm not just straight drinking it. I'm getting chocolate and mint.
It's kind of a gangster phrase you just used. I'm not just straight drinking it.
Yeah. But I'm swirling it, getting the chocolate, the mint, getting some, but not even chocolate, like some dark cocoa almost a little bit. Little bit of bitterness. And then once I've done that, I swallow it. And then I get like this lingering chocolate mint that I'm, enjoying. So.
Yeah, I just did what you said. Oop. It's my elbow. I didn't fart, I promise.
Not Abba.
My elbow. I'm getting... I swirled it around my mouth and I get a bit more... The aftertaste in my mouth now is like I just finished a Frango Mint.
Yeah.
For me personally, I like the beer. And the fact that it's 10.5%, I don't taste 10.5% here. Like it's... Ooh, excuse me. It's a good Imperial Stout. I think I hyped the beer up expectations so high. I was kind of hoping for like a liquid Frango Mint. Like,
Yeah.
Me personally, I would like the bitterness toned down a bit more, the sweetness up, and the mint up. Like I kind of wanted like a liquid Frango Mint. This is like a nice essence of a Frango Mint in an already like established Imperial Stout that Hop Butcher already has, which is good, which is a good beer. It's just not what I expected. I don't dislike the beer. I'm kind of bummed it's not what I expected.
Yeah, and I read that's not that it doesn't taste like that's on purpose, but they didn't use actual Frangos because I think the oils that would have come out of the Frangos would have messed up. I don't remember exactly what it would have messed up, but that would have
Probably
been a problem. So that's why they used the oils.
It could have killed head retention and carbonation or whatever too. Yeah.
As we've been talking, and you and I went back and forth a minute ago, this really it reminded me of their World's Colombian Coffee Exposition.
Oh yeah,
That I
I've
think
had that one,
was
too.
the first Hop Butcher beer I ever had. And that bitterness that I'm getting in this, I remember from that. And I remember from the Fat Bear, and I'm trying to remember one other stout I had from them. It's clearly...
Have you had their banana one?
I don't think I had the banana.
It has that same bitterness as well. Like their Imperial Stout has that. I don't know if it's from the malts or from the hops that they use, but it is that like similar.
Yeah, and
bitterness.
Milk Stachio, while not an Imperial Stout, does have that.
Does have a little bit.
Does have a little bit of bitterness, but it's probably toned down.
Yeah,
a lot.
as time of this release, Milk Stachio is already out, and shit, man, I hope I got some. I love that beer. But I will say this: if somebody was walking down the street, they're like, "Hey, Tone, did you try that new Hop Butcher Frango? What's it called?
Minted.
Minted." If you had to give it a 1 out of 5, what would you give it?
Wait, how did he know? Whoever just answered that, what Zach was talking about?
He always knows.
Always.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Get to the answer, Tone. I would say that out of 5, let's sell a 4.25 for me. I give it 4.25 because it's, especially for this time of year, it is reminiscent of the candy to a certain degree. I like that they actually reached out and got the oil.
Yep.
So there's like real thought behind it. Their Imperial Stout itself is very good. And at 10.5%, holy shit. I mean, I could sip on this. I'd like to have it again, like let it warm up, drink it over time. But overall, I kind of wanted less bitterness, more sweetness, and maybe just a bit more of a punch of mint in this beer. All right, man. See you later. I thought he already left. That was weird.
Yeah, he hung around a lot longer than usual on that. No, I'm kind of in the same boat. I think it's that bitterness that I'm not drawn to. And yeah, I want it to taste more like Frango specifically.
A more sweetness to it.
Yeah.
Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, I keep going back and sipping on it, and like, I'm not getting the bitterness that you guys are speaking of. Like, I'm getting more. Well, and I guess I'll rephrase that. I'm getting more of a chocolate bitterness, which I'm okay with. when it complements the oil. And I'm sitting here holding this, like trying to.
Well,
let it
yeah,
warm
I was
So,
noticed that while you're doing that.
My caveat is like I wonder is if this warms up more, like we do a lot of stouts, if it kind of deepens and like the chocolate comes a little more present. I feel like it is because when I first sipped it and I took a sip, I was like, oh, there is some bitterness, and then like now as I'm sitting here holding this, like, yeah, I got nothing else to do. Like it's deepening. The chocolate is deepening. I like that.
I like as we're recording a podcast, you said, well, I got nothing else to do but hold this cup.
Well,
He's right.
I'm sitting right
No,
here.
I know
Like,
you
what
didn't
am I
mean
gonna
it.
do?
Yeah, I know you don't mean it insultingly, but it's just kind of funny. I can see that. There is a bit of... I just took my very last sip and kind of let it sit in my mouth, and there is a nice sweetness to it. But yeah, I think that gives... I think the fact that 2 out of 3 of us felt the bitterness while one of us didn't really get that kind of speaks to perception.
Yeah.
You know, like this, I think everybody, if you like chocolate mint imperial stouts, if you like all those things, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
Just know that where we're at in our middle ground, you might, it might be, it's definitely not a super sweet stout.
No. And it's by no means a bad beer. It is definitely
I like it.
a good rep. Like, if you were going to tell me that this was a beer that was the representative of Frango Mints, it's on par.
Yeah, and what I love about, and whether or not I like a specific beer or not, I love when I can taste a beer and I go, oh, that's definitely a Hop Butcher. I mean, this is clearly a Hop Butcher stout.
Yeah.
And I love that about beers when I go, oh, well, whoever's, this is definitely their
That's a
beer.
good blind tasting to do in the future.
Man, we got a lot of blind tastings coming up for 2022.
Oh, boy.
You heard it here first on the first half of the final pour of 2022. I believe it's season 6.
We're doing Saisons with Clark.
Oh, shit.
And Tony.
Yeah, Tony and Clark figure out if they're drinking
This
Saison
is definitely Old Irving.
or
this
garbage
is
water.
Russian
I will be
whiskey.
curious when Laura tries this to get her review.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing with my wife,
Yeah.
who had seen this and mentioned this to me as well, which, as
Did,
both
did,
of you
did
said...
you end up getting some?
I have 2. I just have 2. I grabbed 2 because I
Okay.
was worried that full disclosure,
I don't have to give him any.
after having COVID, mint tastes really weird to me often, depending on what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I was worried that having a 4-pack of this, I'd have a sip and be like, well, that's my weird COVID mint taste, but I'm not getting that from this, so that's not what it is.
And that's why Clark won't be joining us anymore on the show. He's got COVID 24/7.
Forever.
What a loser. I'm just joking, but we'll see less of it.
Burt's Beeswax. It tastes really weird, by the way. So don't. I will not
Stop
be having any
eating
Burt's
it.
Beeswax
Stop
beers.
eating
We told you
Beeswax.
early on to not eat Burt's Beeswax in general.
Shit, I did a French press Bourbon County with Burt's Beeswax.
Oh shit, that sounds good.
Doesn't it?
Let's wrap this up and go ahead and try that. Brandon, I love you, man.
Love you too, bud.
Clark, get that beeswax ready, baby.
Oh,
Ready. I need to stop drinking. This has been The Malting Hour. Be sure to follow us on all social media by searching The Malting Hour and at themaltinghour.com. You can also follow us on social media platforms individually. Brandon can be found on Instagram as BMDub81, on Twitter, BDub81, on Untapped, BDub Drinks Beer. Tony can be found on Instagram and Untapped under Asa Phelps Chicago. On Twitter, The Asa Phelps Chicago. Clark can be found as Clarkowski on all 3. Be sure to subscribe, like, and rate the show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Until next time, cheers from all of us at The Malting Hour.